My name is Ward Middleton. At Minbar Farms, we grow organic grains and oilseeds mostly. That's our largest business unit. And wheat intercropped with flax, peas intercropped with canola or oats. We grow barley intercropped with sweet clover, and the sweet clover is for nitrogen plowdown or for forage production. Intercropping, in my mind, is growing more than one crop at the same time in the same field, and not necessarily inter-row cropping, although it could include that. On our farm, we specifically are growing two different crops in an effort to provide competition to the weeds and also to emulate nature, or at least partially emulate nature in the way that monocultures aren't common in nature. It's like nature never wanted a monoculture to grow. There was always more than one species growing in an area. But I find that when we intercrop, we're typically not seeing the disease problems that we used to when we had monocultures. Intercropping plays a number of roles on our farm. The primary one is weed competition. We aren't doing inter-row tillage. We're trying to establish a crop that provides canopy competition for the weeds that are there. So essentially, if I have something growing with my wheat, let it be flax that I can mechanically separate and sell for an added premium. We find that there's a financial benefit as well, because we seem to realize an extra 15 to 30% just as a from the hip rule of thumb for net dollar per acre return. The wheat production hasn't suffered on our 5-year average now that we're intercropping flax with it as compared to when we were growing wheat alone. We're still seeing organic yields of 40 bushel to the acre, but now we're getting 5 to 8 net bushels of flax that are adding, $100 to $200 net return per acre with only just a modest amount of extra work. The other role it plays is it's utilizing more efficiently the acres that we have. So the successes come when you can select two crops that are ideally utilizing a different array of nutrients or a different portion of the nutrient balance that's available in the soil, and they might even have different root structures so that they're accessing it differently. And then ideally, where you would have a benefit or a synergetic relationship in the rhizosphere of the two different plants, where something happens where the two of them together wind up producing more than the monoculture would by itself. So we're looking to seed each of two different crops at roughly, as a rule of thumb, 2/3 of your standard seeding rate for one crop when you put 2/3 of each crop together. Sometimes I play with that, you'll see different balances, but ideally you'll see oats still yield the same as they would in a monoculture when you actually have an extra 30 bushel of peas in there. And then the protein that gets set whenever peas is growing with something seems to be higher. I don't think it's ever been that we have seen 100% failure of both crops. You can have differences in moisture or differences in something locally in different spots of the field that might cause one crop to fail, but we find that the other crop then flourishes. I've also had situations where when I've had weed pressure, thistles, for example, that organic is the bane of organic farmers. I will go out and clip over top of the canopy of the shorter crop, salvaging the shorter crop, but clipping off the thistles so that they don't set seed, and it still allows me to generate a revenue from that land. So most of the benefits ultimately wind up converting into a financial bottom line incremental increase.